Playlists are one of the best ways to grow your presence on Spotify, but did you know Spotify houses 3 different types of playlists on their platform? What's up, geniuses? My name is Adriel, and welcome back to the channel where you learn to show your genius. Yes, it's true, there are actually 3 different types of playlists on Spotify. They all help build your audience on the platform, but one of them will especially help you generate a long-term dedicated fan base. Before we get into the different types of playlists, why is getting your music onto playlists so important in the first place? Playlists are how most people on Spotify tend to listen to music, and if your song makes its way onto any sort of playlist, the number of streams that song gets can drastically increase because the playlist listeners are constantly having your song in rotation. To give you some perspective, in the last 28 days, only 3% of the 200,000 streams that my songs have accumulated have come from my profile and catalog, while the other 96% have come from some sort of playlist. So yeah, playlists are a big deal. So let's go over the different types of playlists. The first kind of playlist you'll find on Spotify are independently curated playlists. These are playlists that any Spotify user, including yourself, can create. If you're a Spotify user, chances are you already have multiple independently curated playlists, some of which might even have a few followers. The great thing about any playlist you come across on Spotify is that people can follow it. The more followers a playlist has, the more listeners it generates. Many brands and labels will create their own playlists for different types of genres and moods. For example, Starbucks has a ton of independently curated playlists on Spotify with thousands of followers, but the great thing is that anyone can create a playlist that generates listeners. I have a playlist dedicated to Spanish indie songs with over 400 followers, and when I released a song in Spanish, all I had to do was plop it in the playlist, then boom, an extra few hundred streams. If you're not someone who's super into playlisting, then you can go to a website like Submit Hub and submit your song to people who do make playlists with a big following. The second kind of playlist you'll find on Spotify are editorial playlists. Editorial playlists are playlists curated by Spotify's editorial team of genre specialists. These people's jobs are to find music that fits within a certain mood, theme, or genre and curate those songs into a playlist for users to listen to. Spotify has literally thousands of editorial playlists ranging from a few hundred followers to the millions. Compared to independently curated playlists, editorial playlists tend to have a better listener to follower ratio, meaning the people who follow editorial playlists are more dedicated to that playlist and the music on it. I found some of my favorite songs and artists through editorial playlists, and chances are I'm not the only one. The catch is that editorial playlists are a lot harder to get on because you have to pitch your song through Spotify for artists, and with the amount of artists and labels pitching music to Spotify's editorial team, competition is very high. The third kind of playlist Spotify has to offer are algorithmic playlists. Just like independent and editorial playlists, algorithmic playlists can have many moods, genres, and themes. What makes them so special, however, is the fact that they aren't curated by people, but by Spotify's machine learning algorithm. Spotify is constantly keeping track of the music you listen to and takes that data to create personalized playlists of songs you'll most likely enjoy even if you haven't heard them yet. Algorithmic playlists are tailored specifically to the user, so these playlists have some of the highest engagement out of any of the other playlists on Spotify. Before I explain which playlist is best for artist growth and discovery, there's a fourth playlist that Spotify has to offer that combines algorithmic and editorial playlists together. They're called personalized editorial playlists, and just like regular editorial playlists, songs can only be placed by Spotify's editorial team. However, Spotify's algorithm will optimize the playlist by showing you more of the songs that you're most likely to enjoy. So which playlist should you focus on as an artist? Your best bet is to focus your efforts on algorithmic playlists because they're the ones most likely to show your music to people who will resonate the most with it. This in turn will generate a higher percentage of dedicated fans compared to independent and editorial playlists. However, that doesn't mean you should ignore those playlists. It's good to get on a healthy mixture of all of them. If you want to learn more about Spotify's algorithm and how to use it to really drive people to your music, feel free to check out this video right here. Show your genius.